Okay. New game. Yes. Preparing new game data. Why can't you have multiple save files on this game? That's something I never noticed. Hang on. Audio. Yeah, because that music is always so damn loud. Much better. I really don't get why you can't have multiple save files. I really don't. In a future where humans lived in prosperous century and technology advanced beyond space and time, that's a very horrible term, especially since that's inaccurate as hell. There was a human... This is what humanity should have been if not for the sudden appearance of unknown beasts of the void. Oh. Eh. Well, that's still too fast to read. There's too much text. And you don't get to read it. Why can't you read it during the opening cinematic of this happening? Whatever. All I know is that I've only played about the 7th mission in this game, and I started ignoring about half the story, even then, because there is a lot of text in this game, and they don't shut up, honestly. Like, I mean, I understand getting information out, but Jesus Christ, there's so much talking. Honestly, there's more talking than there is gameplay in a sense. I mean, I understand trying to put information out there and giving context as to what's transpiring in the premise of the game, but man, sometimes they talk a little too much, and there's just so much reading. Oh, okay. You arrive at a building quite small by the standards of private military company headquarters you've seen in other shelters, but this is where you will be for the future. It's your own PMC, private military company. Okay. That your friend proposed you create with their funding, a proposal you can never decline. And I also, what the text I did read then and there, before I just completely spammed past it altogether so I could get to the gameplay, for what little it was worth so far. I haven't gotten that far in the game again. That some of the text doesn't seem to be correct, that you can never decline. A proposal you could never decline would make a little more sense. But I don't know. I don't know what tense they're saying it in. I mean, obviously it's past tense, but whatever. But yeah, I did notice quite a few spelling errors throughout this thing. At least that's what you wanted. Taking a step inside, you navigated through small hallways into a large room. A woman was waiting for you with her determined smile. With her determined smile? Because see, now that's not really a spelling error, but more just a sentence fluency. Like, that doesn't really make much sense how that's written. That sounds like so weird and like it's a statue instead of this person. Which, I mean, Jesus Christ, she has stereotypical anime hair. I mean, excessive amounts of hair that she shouldn't be able to grow out of her head. Because that's something I never understood with anime. Why do they have girls, or well, just people in general with like longer, well, with just copious amounts of hair? I don't get it. But whatever. Hello, Commander. Welcome back. Nothing. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Hello, Commander. Welcome back. Looks nothing like when we started the construction, right? Can't believe I still don't know. Eleanor paid for all these advanced techs. You could just say structure, environment. You could literally say anything except the lard-ass stereotypical terminology nowadays. I hate all that slang and BS and stuff that people come up with nowadays. It's so annoying. Just talk like a regular human being. You don't sound cool. You just sound stupid. How was the trip back from Shelter 1? Well, you're standing here... you standing here should mean nothing went wrong, fortunately. As you can see, almost everything is 100% operational and ready for deployment, even the catapult. What's left is testing our new M.A.S.S. Oh, another important thing that we need to do is think of a good name for our PMC. I'll just abbreviate it because that's just what this game likes to do. Private military company, whatever. Load is a requirement, as I need to turn in the documents for founding this PNC. See, she's already doing it. To the WDF. Please tell me you didn't forget to think up of one. I've been postponing it for a while now. I forget what the name was that I gave my other one. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I'll just do that. Yes. Crimson Lance. That has a nice ring to it. No, it's not. It's a pretty generic name for these kind of military groups and organizations. Especially, I think, in anime. I think I've seen that name pretty commonly. I think in a lot of them. Okay, I'll be scanning all these documents for the WDF. They've been hounding me for a while now. For now, please follow me to the mission briefing room. Quinn is doing the final tuning on your control system, and she wanted you for the final test. Rena said that as she moved towards the briefing room, that's where she set up her office in this small building. Yeah, because I noticed that a lot of these characters... I did notice that a lot of these characters are, amongst what I can tell, is the anime stereotype, from what I can tell. Shocker there. I believe this is a Japanese company. I could be wrong, but I don't know. But it sure seems like it. You leisurely followed her through a small hallway, reaching a room with a large monitor on one side, showing a large digital map of the world. An elevated platform with desks full of documents sit on the other side. You look around and notice a childlike person clicking away at a large panel of keys right beside a complex machine resembling a seat. It seems she noticed your presence and her hand slowed down to a stop. She turned towards you. Here's Quinn. Hello, Commander. I've just finished tuning the new control systems. You're just in time. I'm not really a fan of all the excessive posing. Honestly. It's kind of arbitrary in this kind of a game. I mean, sure, you can change the facial expressions, but honestly, it's kind of moot with the posing, and we don't need to see the dress flowing and the hair moving, in my opinion. I'd rather just see a static image, personally. What's left is to test it out in a combat simulator before we're sure it's ready for any missions. I've input all data to simulate your M.A.S.S frame already, so what you're controlling will just be like the real thing. I want to collect every kind of data, to be it efficiency, speed, durability, anything to make sure this thing works correctly, as well as your data, Commander. I need to get familiar with its controls. And when you mean by the Commander's data, what do you mean by that specifically? You're still not very descriptive on that. Alright, I finished scanning all the papers with the WDF as well. I'll be your operator in this simple exercise, Commander. How exactly, if there was a ton of paperwork as it was illustrated, which, I mean, I would assume, it said paperwork stacked on multiple desks, I would assume there's a lot more than just that. Like, if the paperwork was all fully filled out and all that, I mean, that's understandable. You just had to transmit it, then that's something else, but still. Commander, if you may, please take a seat in the pilot simulator system. In that pilot simulation system. God damn it, my dyslexia. Aye. Renat will be your operator, and I'll monitor everything. Honestly, I think I'll just give my gripes and 2 cents, I guess, about the characters later. Let's go on hard difficulty for this one, because I burned through this when I did the training, because I was more confused, and honestly, it's extremely easy, and I think you get a little... if I remember right, you get credits for this. Also, what's the point of having her on the side of the camera? Because when I played this for the few missions I did, what's the point of having her... There we go. There are more enemies. Because Because, like, what is the point exactly of having them on the screen when I'm going to be focused directly what's in my direct line of sight? Basically, I'm going to be focusing on a unit and the enemies that are around it, not on this monitor on the side. Like, and all these excessive poses and stuff when I can't even read half the text she even says. Because I'm not going to be able to follow what she says. And I don't like how the combat in this game works so far, because it's rather floaty and finicky. I mean, I've gotten used to it after I trial ran the game. Oh yeah, that's right, they gave me another. The lock-on's not bad, but it's obnoxious how it works sometimes. What? Because for some reason I'm auto-locking, which is weird all of a sudden. I would never auto-lock. Interesting, the controls are working a little better now. That is very bizarre.
Mission clear.
Huh. Yeah. Whatever. I'll just skip that. But yeah, that didn't make, honestly, much sense how that worked. No, I didn't get any more credits, damn. But, yeah. I don't really get the control scheme. Like, with how it functions in its premises, and I couldn't rebind some of the controls, which was annoying, if I remember right. Because I wanted to do certain things a different way, but it's mainly the, because of how the combat works, and the game wobbles all over the place, and I can't, it's obnoxious how the camera controls work. And it would be nicer if this game had a first-person view, so it was easier to fight. Sure, it would make you incredibly blind to the enemies with how this game works, but it'd be easier to fight with ranged weapons. Melee is not too bad. I've gotten used to it and kind of formulated my own way of fighting when I did some trial runs with this game, but I'm just going to shut up and I'll just play the game. How is it, Commander? Our control systems for the M.A.S.S frame. It's all good. Quinn modified it herself. I can't wait to see it used in the real thing. The test results came out quite good, but now I'll need to adjust them accordingly and transfer all the data into the system we got. Well, I'll continue with my work. Thank you for your cooperation, both of you. Gotta make it sound like a robot. I mean, granted, I'm having the same voice tone for everybody, but still, because I'm not giving people voices. I'm making that clear now. Alright, Commander, I'll head back to my room first, but you should come and visit it. I'd like to input the development directions we're taking. Oh, your input on the development directions we're taking. Also, Walt and Uncle Carl came in to check on the final test. They said you should come. They said you should check something out with them as well, so don't forget to visit them. I mean, it's kind of mandatory to go visit them because that's what the game wants me to do. Because you walked into the same small room like you did a few hours ago. Quinn is moving her hands non-stop, even faster than before. You catch her smiling a bit before noticing you came around. Her face turned stoic as she always had. Is she trying to hide her excitement? Well, Commander, I see you've been listening to my request. You, again, like I said the first time when I read this, you just made the request. How could I be listening to your request as if you've been nagging in my ear constantly about it? I just came here because I literally just did that, and I basically I walked in right behind you and followed you to your room so we could converse about what it is you wanted to talk about. Whatever. This is my request. I personally think we could improve in some parts. You already know this, but I can help you develop new technologies for your M.A.S.S here in this place. New technologies will help improve a M.A.S.S performance and will help you in your missions. There are 3 types of technologies you can research and develop here: engines, OS, and architectures. Each have their own benefits and focuses as an aspect of combat you like. But I suggest you try to get them all developed together so we can be prepared for any situation. After I finish, these plans will be given to our engineers and they'll make it for you. And you can have Uncle Carl help you tune your M.A.S.S at any time. I've brought up the development tree for you here. So take a look at the nodes and see if any interest you. Which, it's funny how this game doesn't even how games nowadays don't even try to hide the tech tree. I also don't like how the scroll wheel is inverted with this, which is rather annoying. And as you can see, these tech trees are pretty expansive and big. They got quite a bit of stuff to them, honestly, which is nice. Yeah. And if it wasn't already obvious, I mean, I don't know if this implicates it or not, but this game gets hard pretty damn fast. So where was the one that, I remember there was something I needed here. Where was it? There it is. I need to get that. Oh yeah, I don't have the development resources because, yeah. Okay. Okay. As you entered a large room near the hangar, you were greeted with the smell of fumes and paint. This is where your armorers picks his office. This is where your armorer picks his office, and all the differing designs of metal and chemical works lying around. A young man yelling something happily to himself turns towards you smiling. Yo, Commander, did you have fun within that simulator? I had Quinn make the simulated M.A.S.S look and work exactly like this one. Well, after all that, though, did you like the designs of it? This standard M.A.S.S we got for you. No, it's a pretty boring and bland M.A.S.S. Not only that, it looks like it's a toothpick. If you don't, you can always come and tell us armorers over here about it, and we'll refit the M.A.S.S to your liking. It should be liking, not likes, because that doesn't really fit in this sentence, but whatever. To each is their own how they choose to write and say things, but from a grammatical perspective, at least from how I was taught, that's incorrect. And also, when it comes to the armor, all I can tell so far, I don't know if it's been implemented or not yet, if it actually influences like your durability or health or anything like that. All it is so far, from what I can tell, is just aesthetics, and I honestly am not a fan of it. Granted, though, that's coming from somebody who could care less about aesthetics, especially since I hate aesthetics in games, especially nowadays. Because like it's so annoying to me, especially how people perceive skins and the actual model changes as the same thing, when no, they're not. A skin is like a paint job or something like that. That's a skin, where like say you change the paint formula, or you have a complete repaint over your armor. And you, like, say, for example, instead of just the standard paint colors like this, I put it all camo instead and I paint it all red. That would be a reskin. That's not an actual... that would be a skinning. A reskin. Not actually changing the actual parts of the model, or, like, changing the armor. For example, like, I mean, just because you're in some big hulking piece of armor, but you're still the same weak, minuscule character underneath, it doesn't mean jack shit. You're basically just wearing paper-thin armor. It doesn't make a difference. That's all from me. Please do not hesitate to come here and ask us to refit the M.A.S.S. Which I'm not even going to explore this for now, because there's no point. I don't have anything to do. Tuning, and here's Carl. You arrive into a large space, gazing up at the large mass in front of you. You heard a loud footstep from behind you, but before you could turn, a large hand had already smacked onto your back. If not for your protective gears, that should hurt a lot, which I don't understand why you even wear protective gear anymore. Especially since you're not even piloting this thing anymore directly. Oi, lad, if you goes out there... Okay, if you goes... See, there's another grammatical error. Boy, lad, if you go out there and performed like you did in the simulator, we'll sure have it easy without the need for repairs. Alright, an old man's ramparts are over. What I wanted to talk to you was about the performances. You see, we engineers here in the base can help you tune up the M.A.S.S, provided you have the technologies for us and the resources. You can help us redirect power. I can help you redirect power management or install new controllers into the system up to your liking. Remember, though, that every piece of hardware can only be tuned up a certain way, and we can't have everything. Well, yeah, because that's also limitations based off everything, but that's also a nod of a hint to the game saying that you can only do it in certain manners, rather than their way of illustrating how they say in a lot of the different things they talk about, the developers of the game, that is, how you're free to do as you choose and your playstyle when. No, that's clearly not correct, because you're still quite limited. Granted, though, that's why they give you like 30 slots for 30 different units. In regards to how tuning works, we engineers classify each development branch into main units and subunits. Each main unit provides slots where we put in subslots, i.e. basically the tech tree system and how the game works and its mechanics, because again, this game isn't trying to hide it at all. For engines and operation systems, we can slot in subslots for different levels together. Architectures and techs are a different beast though. Techs will improve special abilities for your M.A.S.S unit, but the only ones with the highest level will work in the subunits with similar abilities, unless the manual says that they can work together or stack. Yeah, because that's just, again, implicating in-game mechanics, because this game, most games aren't even trying to hide their mechanics anymore. They just blatantly do the fourth wall and just explain how the game works. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against that, but it's nice when the game is more subtle about it. But whatever. And also, abilities? No terminology! It would be aspects or capabilities or utilities. Just come ask me if you want to tune it up some way, alright, lad? No point in looking at this, because I don't have any means of doing anything. And now for a mission. Yes, sir. Alright. I'll call the commander immediately. I already walked in the room. Ah, you came at a good time, Commander. Well, the mission is... God damn it! Man, my dyslexia is just kicking my ass! I'm cutting out every time I screw up and restart. But goddamn, because of this wording and my dyslexia... Alright, you came at a good time, Commander. Well, a mission it is. Alright, right after we sent in your name, in our name, guess they had something around the area waiting. I'll get images running on the main monitor so they can brief us on the objectives of the mission. Hello, Agent Konya. I'm just gonna say Agent 1. Hello, Agent. I'm just gonna skip their name altogether. Hello, Agent. Sorry for the wait. Our commander is ready. You can start the briefing. I'm pretty sure that the agent didn't you just get off the... Didn't you just get done conversating with them? Whatever. God, I can't freaking talk today. Okay, thank you very much, Rihanna. Hello there, Commander of Crimson Lance. I'm Kenta. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. My dyslexia is reading 4 different words from that alone. An agent of the WEF. World Defense Force, I'm guessing that's what that acronym means. Commander, why are you laughing? This is a formal conversation. We need to do everything by the rules. Don't skip the introductions, Commander. Kiss my ass, I could care less. Who cares? Just like you always were, aren't you? You're a commander now. You need to abide by the rules. Fuck you. I don't see why I should. Also, who cares? I'm not someone of formalities. And besides, it's not rules, it's just stigmatized desires and perspectives of those controlling this system. It's petty. People should be free to say things how they want, or address things how they see it fit. Because when it comes to formalities, most of the time, it's just indignatious narcissists or people who think too highly of themselves and or view people as lessers beneath them. As often than not, and that's technically how that partially started back in the ages. They showed the slightest smile you could see. He's a stern man that helped you train when you were learning the ropes to being a pilot. You always thought he's an unsociable person, but he's actually just too serious in his work. That smile is something you don't see often from a guy like him. Back to the mission. It should be mission, not missions. We're having reports that one of the main signal broadcasting stations of the North Pacific Union has malfunctioned. The station is located in the inner areas of Zimol. The station is located in the inner area of Zimol Canyon. It was reported a few days ago. See, this is what I mean. This grammatical error is annoying me so much. Like, it's just annoying how all this shit is worded. No, well, I've had to try and restate this one damn sentence at least 10 times now. especially because of the grammatical problems and stuff like that with how it's worded, because it's reported a few days ago. That keeps throwing me off, and that's not how my brain perceives it should be said, because that doesn't sound correct. But again, I'm just going based off how I was taught, because I don't know how this is taught, or if the translation is just bad, because I don't know if this is... This just seems like a Japanese game because of the art style and how they're designing the characters. I never really looked into whether or not this game is from Japan or somewhere else. I mean, I don't care where it's from. It's a game. Who cares where it's from? If you want to enjoy it, that's fine. This station is located in the inner areas of Zimol Canyon. It was reported a few days ago, and we just don't have anyone available in the area until now. To see, like, this doesn't seem like it's grammatically correct how it's worded, but whatever. The Mo Canyon, that place is, sounds familiar, right? It's an old abandoned bunker from the old days. There's no one living in the vicinity, but we still use it as a signal broadcasting station until today. Okay, these two words literally don't need to be there. We still use it as a broadcasting station. You don't need to add those, whatever. The WDF has planned to send a maintenance team down there to fix it, but we need to be sure it's safe to do so. And that's the gist of our mission. I don't get... It's funny how these guys patronize me about this, and yet they use this term about being informal. Correct. We would like you to destroy any Quarks in the area so we can send in our maintenance team. From the looks of it, there's quite a few, as we detected a spike in void energy before the signal was cut off. Okay, that's all the briefing of this mission. You can start the operation as soon as you're ready. We'll be waiting for your reports. Be careful, and good luck to you. Thank you very much. We'll report as soon as possible. Briefing over. Simple enough, Commander. I think Quinn is almost finished with her final setups. Whenever you are ready, we can take on the mission. God! See, and I didn't like this the first time. There was so much text and chatter before the game even starts. You haven't even technically got into the actual main meat of the game yet. Besides the little tutorial, which I honestly don't count that. And you're just doing so much talking and reading. Honestly, this should have happened after you do the first mission. In my opinion. Because this just... you look at the pilot seat located in the middle of the briefing room, which is a horrible location in my opinion. This is the moment of truth. This is your first official mission of your PMC. Taking a seat in the system would link you to your M.A.S.S, and you'll be launched into the battlefield as the first step towards helping humanity. Which that's what I also found disappointing when I learned this. You're no longer even in the thing anymore. I mean, there's a reason for it as to why you're piloting it remotely, but it really kills it for me that you're not actually truly operating the thing. And it always talks about how, like, the characters always say how they say we as in implicating her and me, even though no, it's just me because I'm the one driving the thing and I'm sitting right next to you. Why do I need to see an operations panel in front of my face when you're literally next to my right or my left? I'm not really confident in doing hard just yet because I don't want to die since I'm just a stock character. And also, what's the point of this launch lift that I was curious about? Like, what's the point of this lift? Also, what's the point of seeing that visual display if you don't even see it all that long? Because if this is some kind of a catapult launch system, what's the point of having it if you're the one launching yourself? It's kind of self-defeating. There's also something I find very disappointing and just illogical. Gotta wait for these enemies to spawn. That's something that's also annoying. You have to manually lock onto enemies every time. And the melee is pretty stiff with how it works, where it only has combat sequences, and it's not very fluid. So it forces you to do certain attacks, and it doesn't do random attacks. It's nice that it does combo sequences and stuff like that, sure, but it's pretty disappointing in the grand scheme of things, since it's pretty limited based on the weapon type you choose and or build. Have some missiles. It took me about till, like, I think the third mission, till I discovered what the button for the missiles were, even though it's displayed right with your ammunition counts. But I didn't notice that at first. I thought that was just an implicator for something else. I didn't know that was an actual key. This is one of the controls I can't rebind, if I remember right. And what's the point of this display screen in front of the unit? Why can't it just directly interface with it? Why do I have to see a display screen in front of me? That's completely arbitrary. And also, see all these dramatic poses and stuff. Like, there's literally no reason for it at all. She's just a prissy, skimpy character, in my opinion, that all I see is just stereotypical anime bimbo. I mean, she's obviously intelligent. I'm not faulting her for that. It's just that's just the kind of visual perspective they give her, which is pretty disappointing and is really dumb. Same thing with the little girl who's actually, I believe, Carl's niece. Either his niece or his daughter, one of the two. And she's the stereotypical, somehow, like, absurdly intelligent character, despite the fact that she's only a child. Like, she's somehow hyper-intelligent, despite the fact there's literally no logical way she should be. Because that's not how it works. You aren't just spontaneously intellectual, like a lot of movies and shows portray it. Sure, your brain has an accelerated rate in development and can process things at a faster capacity. That, sure, I mean, I have nothing against that. There are plenty of people out there that are like that. But what I'm criticizing is the fact that somehow they innately somehow know all this knowledge or have this information, despite the fact that's not how it works. We are not a species that can actually biologically transmit memories through generations, like fantasy monsters or something like that. Sure, there are certain genetic characteristics in memories that can be transmitted from generation to generation, but that's from more of a biological perspective rather than an innate impulse or like muscle memory. That's developed through time and skill. No, time and practice. Where the hell am I going? I'm going backwards. Yeah. First boss fight of the game. Oh yeah, and that's another criticism I have about this, is the telegraphed attacks. Like, what's the point of having telegraphed attacks? That was annoying. Bad times, so I'm wasting my missiles there. But what's the point of having telegraphed attacks if you still get hit by the attacks outside of their area of effect? Because it's happened to me all the time where I'm fighting the enemy and my attacks are completely, well, not my attacks, but the attacks are completely telegraphed, but I still get hit outside of the area of effect. What's the point of showing where they're going to hit if you still get hit by them? Go. Collect all the resource items.
Mission clear.
Yay! Freedom, happiness. Woo! I always like horsing around with the poses sometimes in the end cinematic screen. And also, I don't like how this listing system is set up, because you have to click through every single item. And, like, there's just these pages and pages of this stuff. Which is honestly unnecessary. Just give us a scroll bar that we can just move.